Welcome to Fanfare, where we take an insider's look into the world of Broadway, one show at a time. Today we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the iconic Fiddler on the Roof, winner of 9 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. Joining us around the table today at Sardi's restaurant in New York City is Fiddler on the Roof's lyricist, Sheldon Harnick, and 2 of its original stars, Austin Pendleton and Joanna Merlin. I'm so excited to dig into celebrating Fiddler on the Roof, one of the most beloved shows of all time, and something that you, of course, each created so indelibly in the canon of musical theater. And Sheldon, I guess I have to start with you, because there's a lot of legend and lore about the creative process that went into the show.
And I'm the only one left.
And you are, you are. And I'm so glad that we have you here to...
Me too. The whole thing started when some friend, and I can't remember who it was, sent me a different book by Shalom Aleichem called Wandering Star. A big fat book about a Yiddish theatrical troupe roaming around Eastern Europe. I loved it, and I gave it to Jerry Bach, and he loved it. And we thought, who would be the right person if this is a musical? And we thought Joe Stein for the book. So we sent it to Joe. Joe read it, and he said, it's too big. He said, the reason that this is such a great book is that all of these characters are drawn so beautifully, but there's about 40 of them.
Yeah.
You know, and if we just narrow it down to a few, there'll be nothing left.
Right.
But Joe suggested, since we love the writing, let's see what else we can find by Shalom Aleichem. So we began to read other things, and when we found Tevye's Daughters, there was no question. We thought this material is so rich, so richly human. It's beautiful, it has humor. This would be a musical. Then
also famously, I know the audition process that Jerome Robbins believed in was arduous, to say the least. And Austin, hadn't you worked with Jerry on a play
2
before?
shows before he did Fiddler.
Oh, 2 shows.
The previous show I did was 2 shows before Fiddler for Jerry. In between was his production of Mother Courage, which I worked on. But the earlier one I was in was Oh Dad, Poor Dad, Mama's Hung You in the Closet, and I'm Feeling So Sad by Arthur Kopic. And Jerry directed it.
And I've also heard that, wasn't he seeing you for Perchik first?
Yes, he was. I was thrilled. I wanted it so badly.
Yeah.
And then finally at the 6th audition, which is about par for the course, I kept coming back and I read the scene where he was interpreting the Bible for the kids, and I read this scene, a scene with Huddle, and I was just so, that part of Perchik was so much the opposite of the part in Oh Dad, Poor Dad.
Sure.
I mean, it, like polar opposite.
Yeah.
That I just was thrilled. And I kept being called back for it. So I had 6 auditions for Oh Dad. So I thought, around number 6, I'll get the part, you know. And then at the 6th one, I read Perchik again and was leaving. And Jerry said, while you're here, will you read a scene from The Tailor, from Muddle? And I thought, oh, that stupid part. Well, okay. Okay. But I read it indifferently. First of all, I hadn't prepared it, but secondly, I thought, I don't want to overshadow the brilliance of my reading for Perchik, which apparently did not exist, because so I read Muddle sort of offhandedly, and the next day I got the part of Muddle, and I went into a snit at my agent's office.
And that's the performance you give.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Begrudgingly.
Right. Yeah, right, yeah. Then about 2 weeks after that, and I accepted it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, which was very gracious of me, I felt. You know. And so then 2 weeks later, I'm crossing Columbus Circle at 5 o'clock one afternoon on the way to a singing lesson. Hurrying the other direction is Jerry Robbins, who stops me and says, glad you're playing the part. Now that we know you're playing it, we're going to reconceive the whole character. I don't know if that's how he put it to y'all. No. But that's what he told me.
I never heard that, no.
And I said, well, in what way? Is he going to be a revolutionary?
Perchik draws him in.
Yeah, right. And he said, no, he's going to be like, he's hurrying and I'm hurrying. We're both late for where we're going.
One of those New York moments.
Yeah, and it's like 2 minutes to 5. And he said, no, he's going to be like a tenacious fighter where it's just improbable he could ever get anywhere, but he just won't let go. Wham, and he's off. And I thought, well, that sounds kind of interesting, because the part before wasn't quite like that, although to be fair to it, I had not read it carefully. I barely looked at the script other than the perching scene.
Well, Joanna, I want to turn to you because, of course, as important as Tevye to this story are the daughters. And having you here as an original cast member is so special. And so, you know, in terms of, we kind of picked up with Austin and his audition process. Did you have a crazy audition process as well?
I did. I topped Austin. I had 8 auditions.
8?
Yeah, right. I always envied that.
Yeah. Oh, if only I would have had those 2 more times.
Let me just chime in for a minute.
Please.
When Joanna came in, she always auditioned with her soprano voice, and frankly, the soprano voice was not very good.
It was terrible.
You know, and every audition she's the best actress we've seen, but that voice. And then
It all comes out in 50 years later.
about the 8th audition, somebody had the brains to say, Joanna, do you have a chest voice? And that was fine.
But that's
we
not
suddenly
how
heard
it,
that.
it's not how it happened, Sheldon.
Well, that's how I remember it, because as soon as we heard the chest voice, we said, hire her.
Yeah, no, that happened. But how it happened was that after 7 auditions and working with you and Jerry on Far From the Home I Love, it was still terrible. And I had told Jerry in the beginning, I said, when he said, I'd like you to audition for Fiddler, I said, I'm not a singer. He said, oh, don't worry about it, it'll be fine. So, and he had this image that I should do Huddle. And, you know, Huddle is a legit soprano voice, and so I kept trying and trying, and it was just awful. And after the 7th audition, he said, I want to come to your singing lesson, and I want to hear everything that you sing. And so
This was
it
Jerry
was
Robbins or Jerry Bob?
Jerry Robbins.
I didn't know
Jerry
that.
Robbins came to your singing lesson?
Come on, you knew that.
No, not that.
I wrote it in my book.
Well,
You didn't read my book.
I read every other page. Yeah, right.
It was a Saturday morning,
Oh, my
and I
God.
was studying with Carmen Gagliardi.
Was she
At-
intimidated?
What?
He.
You worked on the Sabbath?
Yeah, right.
It was a rainy morning.
Yeah.
His studio was at 71st and Broadway, and Jerry met me there, and he said, "Okay, just sing everything." And so one of the songs I sang was Irma La Douce, da 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 da, and he said, "Sing that song at the next audition." Now, what can I ask you a question, Sheldon? I've wanted to ask you this for 50 years. Why didn't anybody ever ask me if I could sing in a chest voice?
We were brainless.
Yeah.
We didn't think of that.
I think it was
Yeah.
Jerry's idée fixe that he wanted me to do Huddle.
There could be.
And-
Could be.
Well,
I
you
kn-
would be astonishing, Huddle. I mean, in dramatic terms. I mean, thank God you played Seidel.
No,
because
we were
See why I
contemplating.
love this man?
Yes.
We were contemplating the idea of having you playing 3 daughters. But we didn't know how to arrange that.
Yeah.
I've actually heard Hal Prince say that tradition was a huge turning point for the show in questioning what is this about.
Hal says it was me, but it wasn't. We don't know who it was who said when the question was asked, you know what this show is about? It's about the changing of a way of life. It's about the changing of their traditions. And Robin's eyes literally lit up. He said, that is what it's about. Now I know how to begin the show and how to end the show. Steve Sondheim told me something. He said, this is what you've got to watch out for.
I'd never sung or danced with an orchestra before.
The Variety review basically said
Yeah.
none of us could act or sing or write. I'm told they're going to fire Jerry Robbins.